welcome back everyone, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the dulcet tones of the Brood War OST as we have returned. The vetoes, it took a while to get through, but again with a 9 map pool, the vetoes they do take a little bit longer than they used to, but our players are now done and we are getting into game number 1 of this best of 3 semifinals match. As we get ready for this, predictions in the chat are open, so place your bets on how you think this series will go. I do think it's going to be a hard one to predict. Predictions open. Just letting you know in the chat, again, they did recently play last night, and it did go in the favor of one player, but it was a best of 5, so... And it went all the way to the ace match as well, so it's still very difficult to predict. And here we go in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Here we go, the Clem versus the Dark. Last night they went all the way to the ace match. Went the distance. But alas, here we are once again in the best of 3. Now this time we won't be getting Clem's face reaction shots when he loses, drops and loses an army. For those of you who were here last night, you know that the production, they were having a good time just zooming in on Clem's face randomly. It got a little bit excessive at a certain point. I was like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? Like, calm down. The WTL production, they're so biased, Bobby. They're so biased. But alas, we are getting into our game, and so far it's going to be a low ground 2-racks opener here from Clem. Yeah, I've seen this time and time again, and I'm sure Dark is very familiar with this opener as well. This is to get an abundance of Reapers. It's going to be for 3 Reapers in total, and the goal here is to contain and to delay the third base for as long as possible. Just give Clem an economic advantage in the early game. Behind this, expansion. Should be going for an expansion. Now, the follow-up is always what's interesting to me, because we can go into a 3cc 2-on-1, like an economic follow-up. We can go for an, not all-in, but something very committed, like a 4-racks. We can go for something middle of the road, like a 3-racks instead. We do have options available, and we'll keep our eye on what Clem decides to go for. For now, first Reaper does get across the map. There is no drone in position at either third base location, so no fast third here from Dark, and Clem should be able to transition out of these Reapers and into his add-ons. As he does make an extra... Okay, there we go. I was like, he makes an extra Reaper, but he does cancel it. He does recognize that there is no third base being taken, so he doesn't need more than 3 Reapers. He only commits to 3. And again, the goal just to contain. Just to contain Dark. If possible, get some worker kills, but more often than not, we shouldn't really be able to. And we have our answer. The follow-up is going to be an economic one. We have a 3rd CC in the main base. It's going to be 3cc before starport, a 3cc 2-on-1 variation. Okay. So as a result, Clemmy is going to be making, or he's just going to be rushing into his tech lab, into Stim. We could see an add-on swap for a couple of Hellions. And there we go. There's the add-on swap. This shouldn't lead into Cyclones, but we have seen that Clem has been very fond of the Cyclone, and there we go. Cyclones are on the way. Is he gonna go for an armory as well? It was last night. Was it last night or maybe the night before, where he did show off a 3cc 2-on-1 with Hellbat Cyclone instead, which was crazy. It did catch us off guard. We'll see if Clem does dabble in that as link speed is done. He wants us around on those Reapers. Up! The Reapers, they do not make it into the main base. They are going to be shut down. Good catch here from Dark. As the Cyclones have been revealed in Dark, he can commit. He's diving on the army. No, he gets us around. Clem overextends. One Cyclone falls, and so will the other. Oh, a big loss for him against Cyclones. They're so fragile. Lings, they shut them down so easily, and... Again, that was an overextension from Clem. He should not have been out there with those Cyclones. Loses both of them, and now he loses some SCVs, and we get a full scout of the main. We get a full scout of the main base. We confirm the starport that's on the way. There's no, like, second factory or armory or anything crazy like that. And behind this, Dark is double expanding. So for those wondering, this is what you do. Because your third base was so delayed, you do double expand. We're droning. We got roaches on the horizon, and yeah, Dark. He's chilling. He's Chilean, pal. He is going to be Chilean. Hold on. There we go. You're so fast, Poppy. You got the first quacker. Crazy. As yeah, we have 1-1 on the way. We're just gonna be saturating our third base from this point. We have a couple of roaches, or we should be, yeah, we have a couple of roaches out just to maintain control and to make sure that these Hellions don't get out of hand. And finally, here comes that double drop. This is going to be hitting with Stim. Stim is done. And we make our way towards the fourth base. Now, has Dark been too greedy? Can Dark actually hold on to this hatchery? How many queens do we have? We are up to 5 queens, 3 roaches. Oh, this is going to be a tough defense. The Marine Army does Stim on forward. Catches an Overlord. Roaches are coming out just in time, and we do hold on to the fourth base. As Clem dives into the main as well. Dark having a hard time keeping up. We'll be losing 1 queen. Again, we don't have much to begin with. We are down to only 4 queens. Big supply block as well from our Zerg player, but I think that the lack of queens is a bit of a tell. It is a little bit telling here that Dark, he's cutting workers at 65. That is 3 base saturation, 6 gases, nothing but roaches. We are hitting a 1-1 timing from the side of the Zerg player. Another queen goes down. We're down to 3. We're down to 2. We're down to 1. 0 queens left. No injecting. No transfuse. No spreading creep. And this is going to hurt Dark because obviously Dark wants to go all in with 1-1, but he's not going to have injects. He's going to have very limited larva available. And here we go. We are pushing across the map. Ravagers are on the way. And what do we have at home to defend? How many tanks do we have? We have 2 tanks and a bunker. We're not sieged at the moment, and it looks like, yeah, we're just getting into a better position. Clem is getting ready for the assault. He is aware. Second tank on the low ground. Dark is going for the concave. Big tank volleys are going to be going off, and 1 tank does go down. The other gets a lot of hits in, though. And it looks like with these boys being pulled, I believe Clem should be able to hold. Yeah, the final tank falls. We get 18 SCVs. But Clem, he holds onto his bases. And Dark was pretty committed with this. Ugh. As he tries to keep on pushing, but he is going to be forced back once again. 7 roaches on the way. 2-2 just now begins. Dark, he's just trying to retake his gases, trying to rebuild his queens. Was that enough damage? It wasn't bad. I think the 18 SCVs is the most important thing. Clem, he's still not fully saturated on 3 bases because of that, because of all those dead workers. The creep also not looking too bad either from Dark. He's able to buy some time. But the quality of the army, I would say, is still in favor of Clem as he's just building up that tank count once again. Up. He's going to be able to stim on forward, take down more of this creep. Take down more of, or just try to maintain control of the map here, as Dark is going to be the first to max out. What's interesting is that he has saturated his 4th, but he's cutting workers here at 76, and Dark is maxed. He's maxed with 2-2 with pure Roach Ravager. Again, this is just a very aggressive style here out of Dark. This doesn't have a lot of longevity. There is no infestation bit, there's no hive, there's no lurker den or hydra den or just no other form of tech. If Clem is able to trade well enough, he will snowball out of control. Like Clem, he will just outscale Dark. Dark is on a timer, and oh boy, we have a triple drop into the main. Nothing in position. Dark out on the map, has to turn back around. Clem, he's just getting too much done. He takes down both queens, a good amount of roaches. He's keeping Dark busy. Remember, Dark, he maxed out a while ago, and now Clem, he's catching up in supply. Dark, as a result, throws down infestation pits. Is that too late? He takes down one tank. Oh, the splits. Oh. Splits the spread there from Clem, avoiding disaster. Dropping back into the main. Hive is now on the way. It looks like Dark has realized that he cannot end the game. Oh my god, does pile some of those medevacs. But it looks like Dark has recognized that he has to transition, so he's working on +1 melee. So Ling Bane should be on the horizon here for Dark. Into lurkers would be ideal. But before we can think about Ling Bane, there's that Baneliness on the way, by the way. Like, Dark, he knows he needs it. But Clem is pushing, and Clem has an insane army. How many tanks? 10 tanks! Clem has 10 tanks, and Dark, he just can't keep up with this. He needs to slow it down as best he can. Oh, but he's bleeding out so many roaches. Oof. Does get one. Now there's only 9 tanks. Oh, we're down to 8. We're down to 7. And he's picking away at these tanks one after the other. The creep is doing so much here, buying some time. But Clem, he is not slowing down. He's just continuing to just barrel on forward. 3-3 starting up for our Terran player. Dark is up against the wall. Baneling speed still has not begun. Hydra Den on the way. Oof. And yeah, Dark, he just cannot engage here. He's going to be losing the last of his Ravagers. He takes down 2 more tanks. A valiant effort. But alas, Dark has been outscaled this game. He did not do enough with his first push. His first push was designed to kill. His second push as well was heavily delayed. It's been impressive what Dark has been able to accomplish with these biles. He's been able to get a couple of extra tanks. We'll be coming with reinforcements. Dark setting up a surround with what little he has. Gets 1 more tank. But the Marine Marauder, yeah, it just stims on forward. It takes down the army. And we have broken through. GG gets called. Clem will take game number 1. GG. GG, very well done here. Again, it's one of those things where Dark was heavily committed. He was all in initially with his 1-1 roach timing, and then eventually after that with 2-2. But he just wasn't able to break Clem. He wasn't able to do enough damage. He wasn't able to justify delaying his tech for so long. And because Clem survived, it meant that, you know, again, as time went on, Clem was just getting further and further ahead with upgrades, with the quality of his army, with his economy as well. And Dark was falling behind. And with that, Clem is 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. 1 more game, uno más. Here we go. As game 2 is going to be on Oceanborn. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our French Terran player representing Team Liquid. One game away from taking the entire series. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. He needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Dark. Just opening the door. But yeah, Clem, he had a lot of momentum early on, was able to force an all-in out of Dark, and yeah, kind of played it into his hands in a way. And we'll see what Dark has in store for us this time. Once again, it's going to be a hatch first. Going to be a hatch into, I imagine, a gas and then a spawning pool, but we'll see. Keep our eyes on Dark, because there we go, gas being taken, then the pool. Meanwhile, back at home, same opener out of Clem, 2 racks on the low ground. As I mentioned before, the goal here of this opener from Clem is to deny the third base and to contain Dark for as long as possible, to keep him on a low base, kind of low economy, and to get ahead in that way. Now, we did see that in the last game, Clem, he went into a 3cc 2-on-1 after this, very economic. On a map like Oceanborn, where the rush distance is a little bit shorter, I'm curious if he goes for the same follow-up or if he goes for a 4 racks instead. Like, you can spice it up, you can mix it up here in TvZ. We shall see. So it's going to be a 2 racks into a natural base. Reapers are moving out, and Dark is going to attempt to expand, but again, this expansion should be denied, as for now, he's going to be keeping that drone hidden. Looks like Dark wants to try to sneak out of third base if possible. He does do this quite often on Oceanborn. We'll see if he can. So now Clem, he dips in, he confirms that there is no base. Little does he know that a drone is hiding. The drone is actually even moving out. Oh my god. Okay, we're going for the linear third. Oh, bold move here from Dark, but he's going for the linear third base as his third of choice. Back at home, we have our transition factory and a third CC on the way. It's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1. And Dark has successfully gotten away with his third base. Good target firing, gets one of the Reapers, as Clem should be rotating towards that linear third in a couple of moments. And once he does, he should realize what's been going on, and there it is, the hatchery has been spotted. He knows. So really good movement out of Dark to be able to get away with the space. Typically, we would be delayed a little bit longer, a lot longer actually, which is what we saw in game 1. But he was able to sneak out that drone and sneak out that third. Behind this, the add-ons were delayed from Clem, which was interesting. He actually went for the factory before, like, Reactor and Tech Lab. And once again, it's going to be Reactor to Cyclones. We saw that Clem did lose his Cyclones prematurely in game 1, but it wasn't the biggest of losses. Again, the Cyclones are just designed to hunt down Overlords and to gain map control. So behind this, we're getting into double eBay. So not mech. It's going to be bio. Should just be 2 Cyclones into 2 Hellions. We'll see if we go up to 4 Cyclones, which would be a little bit insane. Yeah, there we go. Just gonna be 2. Then into said Hellions. Cyclones are already going to be moving out. We do have 2 Reapers to support them. Only a handful of Lings are available. And can we get a Queen? We get a couple of hits in. The Queen does survive. Overlords are going to be making sure they're safe and sound on some of those pillars. And Clem doesn't find a way in. Meanwhile, behind this, we have a lair on the way, Bailey Nest as well. Pretty safe opener here out of Dark. He's working on his 4th base. It's going to be a prioritization of Ling Bane here from Dark, not Roaches this time. Ling Bane into eventually double Evo chambers. Into his upgrades. He wants that last up. He wants that Overlord. He will not get it. Clutch Transfuse will keep it alive. And this Clem getting his third base up and running. Getting into his 5-rack setup. 1-1 on the way. And yes, a pretty standard setup here from both Clem and Dark. Getting into the mid game. The one downside for Dark here is that this third base is very exposed. The reason why I say this is that this position here is very abusable. The high ground right next to this third base. Tanks here can just wreak havoc on this location. And I'm sure Clem does have that in the back of his mind. Whether he wants to push on the right or the left-hand side, we'll see how he does set up. We'll see how much creep he does deny. We're getting into additional Raxes though. Oh my god. That is 7. Sorry, that is 8 Raxes. Clem, he's going for a 3-base all-in. 1-1 just finished up. 2-2 about to start up here for Clem. What I mean by that is these gases here should not be taken. 8 Raxes is far too much at this stage of the game. So yeah, Clem, he is going for a 3-base all-in. Should not be throwing down a 4th anytime soon either. He's going to be building up an army and just rallying across the map. And I do think that Oceanborn is a good map for this, especially when this base has been taken on the left-hand side. Now, there is some setup that you have to do. We could break through these rocks just to make the rally a little bit less awkward. Creep is being denied. Yeah, Clem just being hyper-aggressive here, building up his forces. Dark, he's taking up into a hive, a bold move. You can get away with this. Dark, he is on 3-base saturation, 65 workers. He's taking additional gases. If he stays on Lingbane, he should be fine. Lingbane Viper is acceptable. If he techs up even further into Hydras or Ultras, then that's a little bit less so. We are just getting ready for our push. Amassing our army. Mailings have been called out. It will be cleaned up. Here comes our first double drop. Going to be clearing away. Cleaning up some of this creep. Things are called out. Yeah, Clem, he does have to be careful not to lose too much here, as Dark is taking control of the map himself. He's working on his own. 2-2. Hive is done, which means we can get towards Adrenal and Vipers. Dark making sure he doesn't drone up too much here. And this is the timing we've been building up towards. 2-2. 2-2 is about to kick in. And now Clem, he's going to push and he's not going to stop. With 8 Raxes, he can just keep the rally going non-stop here. But as Clem moves out, Dark, he's catching some reinforcements. Gets a couple of Marines. Does delay the push. And again, Dark, he needs to buy time. He needs to delay the push for as long as he can. Needs to buy time for more Lingbane, and that's a lot of Lingbane waiting for Clem. No Vipers. No Vipers were built. Clem is pushing through. Pushing through the center. 3-3s on the way again, and no 4CC behind. Oh, 4CC now starts up. Clem, it looks like he realizes that this push is not going to work out. He scans ahead of time. He sees a Lingbane. Clem, he tries to transition, but no, the SCVs are going to go down. Big counterattack. Workers are falling. And Clem, he had to get damage done with this push, but oh my god. Dark, he collapses on this army. He comes in from behind as well. The tanks are cleaned up. And the Bailey connections are insane. Clem will lose his army, and he loses his third base. And Clem was all in with this. He does have 3-3. Like, that is on the horizon here, but lost all of his tanks. Lost his economy. Dark from this point, he can just rebuild his army. He hasn't lost any drones. He's still on 73. 73 workers. And with that, Dark, he's in a really good position. The one thing we're missing is 3-3. Dark hasn't started his 3-3 upgrades yet, but he does have Vipers on the way. He does have Vipers, he's remaxing. And I don't think Dark is in any real danger of dying anytime soon. As he is able to just clean up this double drop and push out across the map. Ladies roll in. Oh. Big mine shots on those Banelings. Here we go. Clem going for a big counter attack. I see someone in the chat. Didn't they already play this morning? They did. They played last night. Or this morning, depending on where you are. They did play in Korea versus the world, and now they're here in the semifinals of ESL Open Cup Asia. Them fighting back, he's re-establishing this third base. He's still on 46 workers. He has a very fragile economy. It's barely standing strong, held together by duct tape essentially, but okay, ducks are strong. Not that strong though. As Link's coming for a counterattack, we have Clem pushing through the left-hand side. Going for a drop here towards the right as well. He's pulling Dark apart. Looks like Dark, he may end up losing a base. Good power bombs though, as yeah, Dark, he holds onto both hatcheries. He has reinforcements. There's plenty of reinforcements coming in. He denies mining, even borrows Lings underneath the third. And I mean, Clem, he still has a pretty terrifying force. Like, he can still threaten the bases here of Dark. But here we go, he's collapsing on this once again. GG gets called, and Dark will tie up the series 1-1. We are going to game 3. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 3. GG, we're going to the ace match. I see in the chat. I thought this was a replay. Shaking my head. Different tournament. Live. I say a live broadcast. There is a 2-minute delay. There is a 2-minute delay on stream. But we are going to be going to the ace match, to game number 3. Again, that's a big difference, I guess, as to last night. Last night, it was a best of 5. Here we are with a best of 3 instead, and this could go either direction. Again, a bold move for Clem to go for an 8-Rax here on Oceanborn, and honestly, it does typically have a lot of success, don't get me wrong. But Dark, he was able to get away with so much greed. He drone up well, he went up to Hive Tech, and he was able to even catch the economy, even catch Clem with his pants down with all these run-bys over and over again, crippling the economy before swallowing up the army itself. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. And now we're getting into the ace match. The ace match is upon us. It all ends here. As a reminder, the winner of this series faces off against MaxPax in the finals. Here we go. It all comes down to our final game on Alcyone. And also spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Here we go. It all comes down to this final game. Who plays against MaxPax? We've been seeing a lot of Clem versus MaxPax recently. I say recently, all year in ESL Open Cup Americas, in ESL Open Cup Europe, in other events. Clem versus MaxPax all the time. Will we see it again, or will we see something a little bit different if Dark does make it through? So far, Hatch first. Likewise, looks like we have a 2-Rax opener once again out of Clem. He's done it every single game so far with mixed success. As a reminder, on Oceanborn, we saw that Dark was able to hide a drone and take a third base regardless of this 2-Rax opener, so he was able to get a better economy early on and a stronger start compared to game 1. It was a very important moment for Dark in the early game, and we'll see if he can pull that off again. You mean this happened 2 minutes ago? Ay, 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 este. How dare you? Smurge, Bobby Smurge. I know, I've deceived you all. It really is a rerun. It's a rerun from 2 minutes in the future. It's over. Ay, ay, ay. As this is a really interesting setup, by the way. I mean, technically it's a wall with add-ons. Once we get our reactor and our tech lab going, this is a full wall, but it's a very janky wall. It's not very aesthetically pleasing, but it works. It works. And it's an old wall, but it checks out. Here we go. The Reapers are going to be dipping on forward here, looking for another drone kill. And up, they get one already. A good pickoff. At the same time, Dark does slip out of third base. Is Clem going to check? And once he does, we should be seeing additional Reapers on the way. As there it is. The third base has been spotted, but oh, it looks like it's just too late. We have too much progression on that base, and Clem does not set up additional Reapers. He's transitioning out of this. He's already working on that factory, and Dark has successfully gotten away with the third base. So once again, a much stronger start here from Dark. He did lose a drone, but he gets a third, and that is worth it. That is worth it in the end. As Clem is going to be going 3cc, third cc. Oh my, god damn it. God damn it. It's going to be a 3cc follow-up, yes, but it's going to be a 3cc 2-2. 2 Raxes, 2 factories. Give us the add-on swap, and we are working towards a very special build. Pretty sure this is going to be Cyclones and Hellions. I'm pretty sure this is going to be hitting a stim timing with not just Hellions and Cyclones. This is the Armory variation, right? I think we saw this yesterday. Yeah, we did see this yesterday, where we throw down an Armory and we hit a very strong timing here on 2 bases with Marines, Cyclones, and Hellbats as well, off of a 3cc opener. So economic nonetheless, not all in. Never mind. That is a tech lab, not a reactor. No Hellions. Oh, no, never mind. They're the Hellions. I was caught a little bit off guard. There we go. Cyclones will shut down this Overlord. Cyclone speed on the way. No stim. No, there we go. Stim is now in production as well. And this is a terrifying build here that Clem has brought together. We saw it last night. And meanwhile, the Lings, they catch the Cyclones once again. Oh god, this happened on Site Delta. This happened in game 1. Almost happens again here in game number 2. We do have Carapace on the way. So Dark, he's going for your standard 2-on-1 response. He saw the 2 Raxes, so he's getting ready here for a bio push. Little does he know that we are amassing Hellions and Cyclones behind this. Sin Marines as well. I don't know if we're going to throw down an Armory alongside this. I don't know if we're going to throw down an Armory alongside this push. We'll see. We'll see if we commit. As for now, we are going to just back off. Trying to deny whatever creep we can, but we're not committing. We don't want to throw anything away. Don't want to throw away any more cyclones. So there we go. We are going to try to lock on said queens. And can we get a queen? We barely cannot. Oh my god. The queens barely do survive, but we get one. And we're going to be able to get the other as well. Lings are pushing on forward. They're coming for a full surround. And Clem, this is not the first time this has happened. He did get a little bit too greedy. He was lured in by the queens. He got two of them, but he loses his entire Hellion Cyclone army. Ay, ay, ay. This is something that we had to build up over time. We had to build this up, but Dark, he gets another surround. He gets another Cyclone. And this factory production has not been worth it. Behind this, we're getting into Bio. We're getting into 1-1. It is not mech. But we have been losing a bit too much here. Yeah, the Lings, they come in to reinforce. Armory gets thrown down, but there's nothing for the Armory to do. Stark is getting out of control. Again, this Armory is too early for 2-2. It is designed for Hellbats. But we've already lost 5 Cyclones, 7 Hellions. It's already too many losses here, and this means that this Hellbat timing that we would have had isn't really going to hit anymore. It's not going to do much. There's nothing to hit with. Back at home, Darky's taking a 4th, taking additional gases. He's chilling. He's going Lingbane Hydra. Clem working on a Hellion run by, I guess. But we don't want to throw anything away. I mean, hey, at least we're not going to have delayed 2-2 or anything. You know, we have the Armory for a while now. It's ready for it. Aliens pushing on in. They get eyes on at least the 4th base. We will back off. Drilling claws on the way. Getting a bit of everything. Widow mines and tank production to make use of the 2nd factory. And Dark has been able to join up to 74 at this point. He has more than enough economy to sustain Lingbane Hydra. Plenty of Lings and Hydras on the way. And he's under really no danger. Like, Clem can't really threaten him too much. We have a Bio push coming out, and we have all these Hellions to morph into Hellbats, but I'm pretty sure Dark has enough to deal with this. Yeah, the job is here to deny creep and to pick off queens, but that's all it can really do. Yo, we stim in! He wants the queens! Gets one! Does get one queen. And here we go, we are reinforcing Clem and now going to be committing here to this push. We need more Banelings. We do need more Banelings here for Dark. So Clem is pushing forward. 16 more Banelings on the way. Now, if Clem connects with some of these wine shots, then he can take a fight, 100%. Maybe we've been too greedy. Infestation been thrown down. Dark, he may have to give up this base. Clem, his army, his supply, I should say, is getting out of hand. Dark, he's going for a run by instead. He's going for a counterattack. With all these Widow Mines, I think he can't really push in. The run by as well. Gets a tank. Gets into the mineral line. This is getting very close. Dark, he's got 1.5k minerals. Has he been missing injects? Dark, he should have the production to keep up, but alas, he's in a lot of trouble. The macro hatch, it looks like he has been missing injects. Maybe he lost too many queens. He's got the money. He barely holds on. Yeah, he's down to 3 queens. He doesn't have enough to inject all of his bases. He doesn't have the larva. Ay, ay, ay. Dark, he doesn't have the larva for this. He has to back off. He may have to give up on this base. Banelings are on the way. Yeah, the hatchery. He cannot hold on to it. He's got over 1,000 minerals, and again, not enough larva. Not like this. And Clem, he's breaking through. He's doing this. He's pulling it off. Sniping those queens earlier actually came into play. Decent connections with those banelings. But Clem, he's edging ever closer to this natural base. Hive is on the way. You can see Dark, he's injecting desperately. We need injects, Poppy. We need injects. As he still just can't spend his minerals. Again, we're missing injects at the 3rd, at the 4th, in the main base. There we go. Queens are now rotating around. He knows. He's getting ready for it. The injects are real. This is still on a knife's edge. And here we go. The mine shots. Oh! They are going to connect. Dark barely holding on. There aren't enough tanks, thankfully, for Dark to actually just keep on pushing. There are 2 Widow Mines behind this. Yeah, Clem just keeping the pressure on. Just never allowing Dark to really have enough freedom to spend his money. To build up a Lingbane army. And this may just be it. This may just be too much. Dark, initially, things were looking so good for him. He does take down some of those Widow Mines, does get some connections with those banelings. He's barely holding on. Oh, decent friendly fire. He breaks through. Dark, he cleans up both of these tanks. It wasn't easy. And now Dark, he needs to calm down and inject, okay? Ay, ay, ay. Queens, they're being sent. This is the downside to Dark's playstyle, because he does hotkey all of his queens together, and he does often bring them together to fight. But if he's given a little bit more time to spend his resources, then he can come back. Lurker Tent's on the way. Hive is done. We have Adrenal, +3 Carapace. God, but Clem, he's going for a Doom Drop. He's headed towards the main base. Dark does not see this. Not until now. He does spot the army. He's reacting. But he's not in position. As Clem, he commits to a massive Doom Drop into the main base. Tank is going to go down. Big power bombs here on the Medivacs. And was this an overextension from Clem? Oh, it's so close, but it looks like Clem is going to get cleaned up. Not the best baneling connections, though. Not the best banelings, as Clem actually trades pretty efficiently. He trades quite well. As he finally gets cleaned up, not before killing 7 more drones. Behind this, Clem is up in bases, up in workers. After killing all those workers, he's now up in those SCVs. And Clem does have a lead here on those 5 bases. Now, Dark has access to lurkers. Now, if he can get a wave of lurkers out, he can stabilize. But it is going to be an uphill battle for Dark. Obviously, lurkers are very immobile. Dark is prioritizing his upgrades. He's working on 3-3. He's re-droning. He's droning up to 80. And thankfully for Dark, Clem has run out of steam a little bit. Like, he's backing off, he's rebuilding his forces. And there it is, the lurkers are on the way. Now, Dark is spread thin, so even though he's getting into a more ideal, a more efficient army, Clem has the opportunity to pull him apart. We have a drop here towards the north. We're going for a mine drop into this northern base. Dark does see it. Does react. Oh! Ooh. He will shut down these mines. Double drop here towards the south. The hatchery's a bit misplaced, and it is going to be killed. Not cancelled. Big pick off here from Clem. Behind this, he's walling off. Liberators, tanks, ghosts are on the way. He's just completely walling off here on 4 bases. Which means Dark can max. But it also means that Clem is refining his army, getting a very efficient composition. Ghost tank lib. Eventually towards Ghost Mech. Oh my gosh, he really wants that medevac. Does get it. Line shot goes off. And Dark, how does he break in? How does he punish the economy here of Clem as Clem takes the gold? He's building up a bank. So is Dark. The game has stabilized. But I still want to give the edge to Clem. I think Clem has more control at the moment. Dark is still spreading out his creep. He's still refining his army. Still trying to get more bases. Up! Oh my god. Where's the abduct? Or the parabomb? There it is. As the parabomb does take down the medevac, at the same time we have a random tank being rallied in. Oh my god. That is a bit of a tell. Clem going to be threatening that goal base. At the same time, we do have a big lurker counterattack towards the north. We're pushing in. Big mine connections, but the tanks are going to go down. Oh my god, we connected to the mineral line and the planetary falls as well. The Liberators will hold, but the base does fall. A big counterattack here from Dark. He does get a lot of damage done. 20 SCVs, a base, 2 tanks. And now Dark, he can back off and rotate around. Suddenly, Dark has momentum. He was at, bearing in mind, for some context, Dark, he was at death's door. Like, things were not looking good. He was dying. Like, it was over, papi. Clem was knocking down his front door and Dark, he survived. Somehow Dark survived, and now he's up in economy. He's catching tanks, shutting down bases. Up next is going to be this gold. Dark is cleaning up these rocks. How many lurkers do we have? 7 lurkers. Most of them are here towards the north. And Clem is taking more bases. Dark needs to stop this. He needs to take advantage of the fact that Clem is being spread a little bit thin. Another CC on the way. Likewise, Dark taking another hatchery. Wing run by is being set up. There is one Widow Mine. Oof. Does not connect. Darky gets a ghost before backing off. No, the tanks once again. Bit of a miss rally here from Clem. Hot pickup does save the tanks. Decent mine connection. As Dark zones Clem away and he gets within range of the mineral line. Those lurkers, they are going ham. Ghost trying to come in. Some good snipes, actually. Oh my god, the snipes are crazy. The snipes on the Vipers. Big EMP as well. Pretty efficient trade here from Clem. As we are down to 3 lurkers. Oh my god, every single lurker gets sniped. How many was that? 13 lurkers. Ay, ay, ay. And now Dark gets eyes on this planetary on the right-hand side. He can't quite do anything about it, not yet. Oh, this is pretty important, actually. 7th base here for Clem. 7th CC. We do catch more reinforcements. This is something that Clem does have to be wary of. He has been bleeding out a lot of units, even getting surrounded. Dark is now the player with the bank. Takes down another tank as well. And if Dark wanted to, he can actually push through the center here. Oh my god, he's going for it. Yeah, these tanks did low from earlier. Clem heavily out of position. Orbital's going to go down. Hydras are going to escape, and they're going to try to get the hell out of here. But Clem is just being pulled left and right. Now we're going back into Mass Lurker. Now again, Clem's economy is still looking decent here, especially with all these fresh bases. Dark still looking to do something about this. This base is still looking very fragile, very vulnerable, I should say. The Liberators are denying mining. Another CC about to be taken. But Dark, he doesn't care. He's going right through the center once again. Do we have enough anti-air? Because that's a lot of limbs. But we do not care. Not anymore. Baileys, they try to connect, and they get some decent connections on these ghosts. Oh my god, some miscontrol there from Clem, just wandering too far onto Lurker range. Here come those snipes. Oof. We have broken into the natural. Dark splitting off a couple of Lurkers, heading towards that third base as well. Looks like Clem is holding though. Clem with all these ghosts, he should be able to hold on. Yeah, the Lurkers, they're fighting back as hard as they can, but good control here out of Clem. Cleans them up. Meanwhile, bottom right is under control of Dark. Things are getting really chaotic here. Clem losing even more SCVs. And now we're going to be diverting our attention towards the south, where Clem, he wants to try to take another base. And deny this hatchery. Speaking of, the northern hatchery has also fallen. It's down. Did go down. Dark, he may not have any lurkers, but he can still try to surround this army. Clem, he's got to be careful. No Widow Mines, no tanks. Yo, Dark, he's going right for the ghost. He knows he can get us around. Doesn't quite get them, though. Barely out of range. We're going into infestors. And the strong way to lock down those ghosts. Liberators have arrived. Decent lib count. Again, if at any moment these ghosts die, then that's going to be game. That's going to be the end of the game. Then and there. Dark knows it. Do you have a couple of infestors in position? They are burrowed. Once again, another big counterattack. Once again, Clem, he's spread too thin. He's out of position. The main base is compromised. And Dark, he's camping the production. Clem doesn't turn around. He sends a couple of units, a couple of ghosts. He will deny a hatchery. Will deny this southern base. At the same time, Dark getting ready to dive in. Now is Clem looking? Oh! Oh my god. Barely is paying attention. It looks like this planetary should go down. Yeah, lurkers are within range. Ah, there is a repair. There are a couple of SCVs. They're keeping that planetary alive. It looks like Clem, he will hold. Clem is down to 50 workers. Darky's burning through his bank. He's just coming in with some lings. He should finally clean this up. Not just the planetary, the Ghost Academy is here as well. So a pretty important tech structure is gonna fall. With the death of that Liberator, finally Darky can mine from this northern base again. Workers are in position. But they're being sniped. This hatchery was low from earlier, and it does barely go down. And this is still very scrappy. Both players have similar banks. Both players are vying for control here of this southern base. Hydras are being called out. Clem trading very well here. He didn't lose his main either. Dark, he's amassing a Lingbane army. He's maxed out once again. I do think that Dark wants to try to get into the main again. I think that's where his attention lies. Which means Clem is going to be able to take these bases. To get us around. Clem is getting another mining base. But Dark, he doesn't care. Not at the moment. As again, Dark's win condition is to take control of the main base. But the SimCity working against him. Dark is going to get some more tanks. He's trading well. Could even get this orbital. As the Ghosts, they do turn back around. But Dark, upon losing this base, things are not looking good. He's only committing a couple of lurkers here. Just trying to get out of range is going to get cleaned up. Likewise, so is that Liberator. Here we go. Dark, he's rotated over here towards the south. He does have these infestors. We're still looking for fungals. One good fungal is all it takes. He wants it. Here we go. Dark, he's converging here on the south, bringing everything over. He does now have Corruptors. Yeah, he's going to push on in, and Clem, he's not ready for this. He's going to lose his base, lose these tanks, lose his entire army. He was expecting Dark to go for the main. He does come back with the rest of his forces. Up, decent fungal. That's what we were looking for. Do we have enough? Big fungals and half the ghosts will go down. But Clem, he does hold. He does force us back. The Vipers are barely escaping. I spoke too soon. One gets sniped. Dark has to back off. Yeah, he evacuates this position. He knows he cannot hold on to the space. And Dark is in some trouble now. He can rebuild. He's remaxing. And he's been losing a lot of lurkers over the course of this game. Likewise, Clem, he gets another base. So does Dark, but it's not mining. Barely not mining here. He needs income. Dark, he's running out of minerals. He has no money. Uh-oh. Dark, he is down to 1 mining base. Clem down to 2. Okay, that's why control of this southern base is so important. It is allowing Clem to remax, and I think that's it. Clem, he remaxes. Dark can't. He just doesn't have the money for it. Just been trading too inefficiently. Been losing too much to the value of the ghosts. The only way that Dark could maybe win this is if he catches Clem, catches a portion of his army on its own. But outside of that, yeah, Dark has run out of steam. Again, the moment, I feel like a really pivotal moment was Clem taking the space unscouted. It took Dark a little bit too long to realize that the space was being taken, and because it went uncontested, it allowed Clem to get a free full mining base, and that led into eventually taking the southern base as well. Something that should not have happened. We talk about this all the time, but in late game TvZ, if the Zerg player isn't up 2 bases or isn't up a base, then they're just behind. And yeah, Clem, these 2 bases, they're winning in this game. He has remaxed. Not just that, of course, but obviously his control, how efficiently he's been fighting, has been trading. And Dark has nothing left at this point. His army is some Lingbane, a couple of Corruptors, a couple of Spellcasters. There's no meat to the army. There's no Brood Lords. There's no Lurkers. There's no Ultras. No Hydras. If you're going for a Ling Bane Hydra heavy composition, you do need a good economy to sustain it. And the goal is to make sure that your opponent doesn't. Again, even if we can get some really good fungals, we can clean this up. Oh, we do catch part of the army. But from here, we have to turn back around. We can't commit. We can't commit. As Dark does bleed out a lot of units, and the reality is that even though that was a good trade for Dark, that was really well done from Dark. Clem rebuilds. He just replaces what he just lost. And Dark cannot. A couple of power bombs are thrown down. Liberators will fall as well. But Clem, he has just snowballed out of control. Workers are falling. Dark barely has an economy to begin with. Now he has even less so. Long distance mining from these gold mineral patches. Long distance mining from whatever he can. And there were moments here. There were moments for Dark in this game. I mean, he almost died in the beginning, if you remember, when when he was missing injects. But he came back, he stabilized. It was looking good. And here it is, the final fight for Dark. GG gets called, and Clem will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Again, Dark may have won the best of 5 last night, but Clem, he wins the best of 3 this morning. Oh boy, and he will be advancing on to the grand finals to face off against MaxPax in that TVP. I did mention before in the lead up to this series how, if you remember, if last night was a best of 3 instead, Clem would have won it. Clem would have won it. As Clem did take a really early lead last night, and then Dark brought it back in a longer best of 5 series. Alas, in the end here, it looks like it goes the way of Clem. And that's why, like, I didn't envy anyone predicting on this series, because it could go either way. It could have gone either direction. Ooh, what a series nonetheless. What a series. As we're going to be hopping over to the European server for the finals. We are hopping over to Europa.